Welcome to the year-end special of Paano Ba To? In this episode, I'm sharing 10 of the best advice, insights, and mindsets we heard on Paano Ba To in 2021 that can help us prepare ourselves to come into 2022 stronger. Number 1, from an episode in March where I invited my friends Lynn Pinugu, Ana Oposa, and Shelly Esguerra to talk about the pressure to meet timelines and expectations of others.
But then to answer the question of how to deal with questions like this and how to deal with a timeline, it's hard. I mean, we have to acknowledge that it's hard because you grew up also conditioned, at least the school that I went to, there are certain milestones of like go to college, then get married. Then it's not even enough to have one kid. After you have one kid, they'll ask you, oh, kailan na yung next? Tapos po yun, you have the second kid, oh, kailan na yung next? It's just so crazy. And I think we have to learn to be kinder to ourselves. And I'm saying that as someone who also struggles to be kind to myself. Have patience with other people and try to understand where they're coming from. One thing that I read, sabi ng therapist, when someone asks you these questions, the way to respond is, why did you ask that question? And the way they answer it will give you an insight of what that question means to them. So, for example, someone asks me, bakit ka pa walang anak? So I'll say, bakit mo natanong? And then they'll say, because I'm so happy being a mom and parang I just want to share that joy with other people. Congrats. I mean,
Ay, paano kung sabihin sa'yo, kasi 33 ka na eh.
Yeah, which will be the answer 50-60% of the time, di ba?
Oo, ano yung follow-up response?
wala naman akong
Hirap.
balak eh.
I think what leads to disappointment or what creates that disappointment and the fear nga is that the fact that you might be missing out on a certain level of happiness that is promised by following this timeline, right? When in fact, even if you follow the timeline, it doesn't guarantee happiness and fulfillment for you.
Ganda.
Because I know people who have kids who have such
Ang
a big
ganda.
family.
The
Right?
way you
But-
said it, may parang pa-whisper. Parang
Totoo.
may
Right?
voice-over vibes.
Yeah.
Oo.
Number 2. This clip is from an episode in April where I invited NLP trainer Karel Herrera to help us how to deal with overthinking.
My realization in my constant journey right now in mindfulness is that when you have these thoughts, acknowledge it. Thought number 1, hey. Thought number 2, hello, how are you? Thought number 3. So I just let these thoughts pass by. Then I focus it back on something else like breathing. So if I'm breathing right now and I'm in the moment and all of these thoughts start to overwhelm me, I go, hello thoughts, hi, then focus back on my breathing. Or if I'm thinking of what am I grateful for? Because gratitude actually puts your brain in the present and just thinking of things that you're grateful for. That helps in the anxiety ha. Sobrang nakakatulong sa anxiety. So if I'm saying, I'm grateful for my life, I'm grateful for my breath, I'm grateful for family, and then another thought, oy, yung lulutuin mo bukas, oy, yung meeting mo tomorrow. Hey thoughts, hi, how are you? Then I go back to what I'm grateful for. Wag mo siyang, ay, bakit na naman ako nag-iisip ng ganon? Stop stressing about overthinking because hindi mo ma-achieve yung losing the anxiety by scolding yourself for overthinking. Allow it. Give yourself that permission to have a brain that really connects. So allow it, then bring it back. Let it go, then bring it back.
Number 3. From this episode in May, entrepreneur and endorser Nico Bolzico talks about cultivating creativity.
I don't believe in life. I don't believe in talent. Yeah, you can be talented, but I'm pretty sure that hard work can match up with whatever you can do with talent. And I apply that in sports. I apply that in life. I believe that discipline, hard work, and honesty, like good values, can take you a long way. And I do believe like creativity, we are all creative in different ways. Solen, she's an amazing artist. She's very creative, when she creates art. But when she needs to create a video, she comes to me. No, just kidding. She doesn't create good videos. But no, I think we're all creative in some way, somehow. It's a matter of, exercising that, putting the work that you need to put. Because if someone tells you, oh, I'm just so blessed with this and this, it's BS. There is so much hard work behind so many projects. And Bianca, you're one of the most professional hard workers person I've seen in the industry. So you know this better than anyone. There is a lot of hard work behind all all this project, and the creativity or the talent aspect of it is very little. It's just how much time you put on it, how much effort, how you focus on it. And at the end of the day, it's also a bit of courage of trying, trial and error. And I think that's the beauty of social media today, that you can try. I mean, it's for good or for bad. Going back to the question, is creativity, it's a lie. It's all hard work behind. Don't worry about talent. We always said in Argentina, and with my football team when I was playing in Argentina, we always say attitude kills talent. Your attitude is way more important than your talent.
Number 4, former brand boss Nicole Villarojo shares the power of being open to the possibilities from this episode aired in July.
The message that I said in my TED Talk was always to do something so big that it scares you. I can't say that I've determined what that next big thing is for me yet, but this step of stopping something, courageously choosing myself and my life is probably a scary but exciting thing, because what it does is it opens up possibilities for something I probably wouldn't have considered. For 18 years, I danced ballet. And if you talk to me at that point, it was like, I'm going to be a ballet dancer forever and ever and ever. Amen. Like I was going to go to Juilliard and all of that. And then I went into college, and then I went into the student government, completely different. And then my mind was like, I'm going to go into politics. I'm going to take law. I'm going to run for the government. And then I ended up going into PNG, and it was like, yeah, I'm going to be in corporate. So I feel like now closing this chapter in my life opens up a new possibility for me. I can reinvent myself again. And so that unknown, as scary as it is also very exciting for me. It opens up something that, I adore, that I wouldn't have gone through if I stayed in.
Number 5, sisters and podcasters Miel and Frankie Pangilinan share their thoughts about Gen Z assumptions and gender fluidity in this episode from July.
The whole thing about, us being a lot more gender fluid, it's like, the thing is that a lot of people like to say that so much of Gen Z are like LGBTQ+, they're all like that. But I don't think that, because that just turns being gay, being bisexual, it just turns it into a trend,
as if it was a choice
for
people.
When it's not. The only thing is that with the internet, a lot of people became more accepting, and it became more socially acceptable to be gay, to be trans, and like obviously we're not at complete acceptance yet of everybody, but like obviously it's a lot better than it was like 40 years
because
ago.
there's just more information also going around. I think people are becoming more aware of themselves.
And it's like we're not the most gender fluid generation. I think it's just that we're the generation that
is talking about it.
Has been, it's like more people in our generation have felt safer and have been in better circumstances. We're at a better circumstance now. Like the LGBTQ plus community are at a better circumstance now than they were decades ago to come out and say, I am blank, and like, or I identify as blank. Because
before, people were really persecuted for being anything but the binary.
Yeah, and it's like, why would people want to come out then? It's like, when if you did it, you would be killed, you'd be sent to jail, you would literally become a criminal just for loving who you love.
In the past, maybe if somebody was struggling with their identity or unsure about things, about what they were experiencing, they didn't have as many or as easy access to resources that we do now. Nowadays, somebody can definitively read something online and probably be like, oh, that's me. That applies, and that's such a special thing.
Number 6, in her Legends Only episode, our Vice President Lenny Robredo gives advice on how to find your path.
Ako, I always tell this to my daughters, na you are where you are meant to be. When we are much younger, kasi we always wonder, diba, where should I be? Pero para sa akin kasi, yun nga you are where you are meant to be. Gusto sabihin na where you are now is ito yung nakatakda talaga for us. Kaya kailangan natin pagbutihin. Parang the grass is not greener on the other side of the fence. Parang the grass will be greener where you are. Depende sa'yo. You have to be the best that you can be today. Kasi in the future, when you look back, parang all the dots connected. Kaya ngayon, sa akin, ang dami kong ibang ginawa. I was with PAW, I taught, I was with a development agency, pero all the dots connected Ang gusto kong sabihin, those dots where I was in the past. That was where I was meant to be at that particular time. So yun siguro yung pinaka final message ko to the young people listening to us, na because this is where you are really supposed to be, make the most out of it.
Number 7, box office director Kathy Garcia Molina reminds us to never compare our success with others in this Legends Only conversation.
There was a time in my directing life that I thought I wasn't cut for this. Ito yung once a year ako nagkaka-MMK. Wala akong directorial. Lahat ng juniors ko, nakakapag-direct namin sarili ng soap. Ako wala. Nag-AD uli ako. I started to lose hope and dasal ako. Sabi ko, Lord, hindi yata ako para dito. So, nag-decide ako at yung late husband ko na mag-migrate na lang sa New Zealand. Sabi ni Inang sa akin, anak, halika, sabi niya. Never compare your success with others. Sabi niya, trabaho ka lang ng trabaho. Subsob mo sarili mo sa trabaho mo, gawa ka lang ng gawa. Isang araw, pagtingin mo sa harap mo, wala sila doon. Pagtingin mo sa gilid, wala rin sila doon. Paglingon mo, ang layo mo na pala sa kanila. And that's what I did. And true enough, paglingon ko, kailan ko lang to na-realize a few years ago. Oo nga no, yung mga kinaiinggitan ko before, meron silang time to shine nila. Okay lang, hayaan mo lang sila. Trabaho ka lang. One day you will have your own. One day paglingon mo, ang layo na pala ng narating mo. Kasi imbis na katsang ka ng katsang, kaka-compare ng sarili mo sa iba, trabaho ka ng trabaho, di mo alam, umariba ka na pala.
Number 8, top designer Rajo Laurel shares the importance of staying still in this fast-paced world from his Legends Only episode.
Now that I'm, a little older, I think it's the stillness that is important, and really to sort of like for a few moments. I know it's going to be difficult, but just calm down and just remain still, and it'll come to you. And always begin and end and continue in a place of love. Only because if you love something, it will really, really thrive. Consider your career or your path or your life like a plant. Take care of it properly. Don't overwater it. That's why I love being a plantito, is because there's a lot of truth into it. Be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself, but remain still, because clarity only comes forth once you're still. Because if you keep on running towards a particular goal, you sometimes forget that might not be the goal for you.
Number 9, psychologist Dr. Joanna Herrera introduces to us what glimmer is para hindi tayo maubos sa pandemyang ito.
A way of pausing that I've come to appreciate is this practice called glimmer.
Glimmer.
And it's just micro moments, it's a practice that's taught by Deb Dana. She's a mental health clinician also who works a lot with the nervous system. And micro moments of enjoyment, pleasure, aliveness can be very powerful. So if we pay attention to those micro moments of aliveness and joy, and try to stay with it for a little bit, turning the glimmer into glow, those moments can be powerful in recharging our nervous systems, our minds, our capacity to show up for life.
Number 10, business consultant and entrepreneur Anthony Pangilinan teaches us powerful mindsets on how we can future-proof our lives.
I think we have to simplify things. I love it when I hear, lalo na yung mga experts talk about how to respond, pero napakasimple lang. For example, si Peter Drucker. He died maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago. He was called the father of management. And when he was looking at so many things going on, change. Parang ganito yung bosses niya. There are only 2 rules to change management today. Okay? 2 lang. 2 steps. Hindi 15, hindi 8, hindi 10.
2.
First step to change management is determine what you would absolutely not change. Amidst all the changes, ano bang non-negotiable mo? Yun daw ang first step. Sabi ko, oh my God, 2 steps lang, yung pa yung first step. Okay? So what could be the second step? Diba? You know what the second step is? After determining what should absolutely not change, then be open to changing absolutely everything else. Which means wag ka dapat mahirap kausap, di ba? Simplihan na lang natin. Kung alam mo na yung mga non-negotiable mo at nasabi mo na yan, Dapat, lahat negotiable na. I mean, we're not even aware of what our essentials are. And the pandemic has taught us that, di ba? I hope we're all learning. Ano ba talagang essential sa'yo? Tanggapin mo talaga na magulot gugulo pa, maaring gumulo pa ang kapaligiran. But somehow, by the way you live your life, right? You provide order to the people you influence. Parang doon ka dapat naka-focus sa response mo eh. It's not what happens to you, Dr. John Maxwell said. It's what happens in you. That's important in life, you know? It's so important. It's a struggle for me, but I fight daily to tell myself every circumstance I am in is a gift. Good, bad, or ugly. It's a gift, right? If it won't kill me, it'll strengthen me. It will stretch my capacity. It will make me be thankful for what I have. Every circumstance is a gift. And when you have a gift, you receive it.